Hey guys, Ultra Maximus here, and it's the end of December. We're getting close to Christmas. We're about to end out the year 2012, so I thought I would put together a top list of my favorite Transformers from 2012, and why those are my favorite figures. So I picked 12 of them out of all the figures I purchased this year and put them in order, and why I like the figure and why they made my top 10 list. So let's check it out with number 12. So here's number 12. It's Ultra Magnus from Transformers Prime. And I really do like these characters. There are a few flaws, like the backpack. I got issues with his backpack not folding up, and his arms are a little bit too small, and the plastic is very, very, very light. It's almost knockoff thin. It's so light and thin. But other than that, I mean, this guy is actually a pretty nice looking figure. He's got a lot of G1 in him. The color scheme alone, I love how he's got the G1 missile attachment. I think that is very cool. I wish they would have given two so that you can put him on there. His truck mode, they could easily do a semi-truck or semi-trailer to go on with it. I think that would be very cool. The color scheme, fantastic. He looks good. I like his little head sculpt, even though he has no nose. And his weapon turns into a big ol' hammer that unfortunately is a little too heavy for this wispy little arm, but that's a nice throwback to Transformers Animated with the Magnus hammer. And I thought that was really, really cool. So all in all, I mean, he's not my favorite figure of the year, but he's definitely one of my fun figures for the year that I did enjoy when he came out. So that's why he's number 12. All right, at number 11, I've got Wheelie, and this is the Asia / Toys R Us exclusive figure from the Generations line. This guy's basically a remold of Jazz, but that's okay. It's not a bad mold. And what I really dig about this guy is I love the color scheme. It's very G1. He has a great little head sculpt there, very G1. He comes with a slingshot, which is fantastic. But, you know, it's just nice to see this figure actually get some big bot love, I guess, because he's always been a little mini bot, and the first toy was just absolutely terrible. They did do a Legends figure that was pretty darn cool, but it's nice to see him in a figure this size with this much detail. And I think he's supposed to have the doors out like this, but that just looks a little too Jazz to me, so I like to pinch the doors back, and that gives it more of a wheelie look, I think, when it's sitting on the shelf. So yeah, I mean, absolutely cool. And it's mainly, he's just got that goofy little cartoony animated looking face, a very G1 looking face. I think they did a really good job with that. And while the character is, the original G1 character was kind of annoying, I do like the IDW redesign where he's a castaway and he's really kind of nuts. I wish they would have put the Autobot marking that he had in that comic book on there, where it's almost like painted on there, kind of Wilson style from Castaway. But all in all, I'm just really glad this figure finally got its day in the sun with a good sculpt and a larger sculpt, a deluxe size toy. So that's why Wheelie is number 11. All right, so my number 10 figure for 2012 is going to go to Dead End. And there's a reason I picked this figure. Number one, it's the exact same sculpt as the Wheeljack figure from Transformers Prime. It's just the bad guy version. It's a repaint, and he's got a brand new head mold. And I love this mold. I think it is a fantastic mold. I'd like to see them do one for Hot Rod or Trax. I think that would look really, really cool. But the reason I picked this guy, I absolutely hated him when he came out. I did not like him at all. And I watched a few guys do some reviews on him, and the more I saw the figure sitting on the shelf, the more I really liked the color scheme. It is such a radical G2 style color scheme that it crept into me. I really, really dig it now. I love that giant green Decepticon logo there. And to be honest, I wish, instead of them calling him Dead End as a toy, I wish they would have called him Makeshift like the character from Transformers Prime that actually took the form of Wheeljack and tried to fool the Autobots. I think this would have been a really great kind of Masters of the Universe Fakor version of He-Man. You know, he was kind of a blue version of He-Man. This would have been a great Fakor of Wheeljack. But alas, they call him Dead End. I like to call him Makeshift. But the mold is great. The car is awesome. I love the swords, and the colors are absolutely wild. And it's not everybody's cup of tea, I can tell you that. And it took me forever to want to like this guy, even down to the translucent green windows on him. He is just a wild looking character, and it wore itself on me. So that's why he's number 10. All right, so we're breaking to number 9, and for that I have the Voyager Class Transformers Prime Starscream. And there's a reason I picked this guy over the first edition deluxe version, and that is he is, I think, downright a better sculpted figure than the first edition figure. I think the face sculpt looks dead on point accurate to the show. I think it has less kibble, even though it's not very show accurate with the plastic purple and the missiles are not red. The Decepticon logo is black and up here in the corner, and there's no Decepticon there, although there's a spot there for Decepticon logo. They did not put it there. I still think this looks better, flat out better, than the deluxe figure, and I really like that. I love the show look of the figure. I think he's very spindly and spiny, and I like how his wings can actually move like they do in the show itself. So all in all, I think he's really cool. He's a bit out of proportionate because he's the same height as the Voyager Megatron. So if you've got the Voyager Megatron, you'll want the deluxe Starscream to go with for size accuracy. But as far as general sculpting, I think this one's a little bit better. So that's why he's number 9 on my list. All right, so number 8, we have Bruticus from Fall of Cybertron. This is the G2 variation of him. And the reason that I picked him is because this is the return of the Combiner, an actual Combiner, not those Power Core pieces of crap that we had last year. But this is an actual Combiner. There's 5 robots that turn into a larger robot. Individually, they're okay. I think that Swindle and Vortex are probably the 2 best out of all the robots, but he is best when put together in his combined form. Now, I do like the G2 coloration. I think that is very cool, and this is the cheapest way to get it. You can get it from Big Bad Toy Store, you can get him from Amazon.com, and it's basically the price of buying 4 of these. You get the 5th one free. So I do like him. He's not the greatest combiner, but at least we get a solid, real combiner back this year for Transformers. So Bruticus in his G2 format from Fall of Cybertron. Number 8. All right, so number 7, I've got Rumble from Transformers Prime. And the reason that I picked this guy in the list is because he is dramatically different from a lot of the other Transformers that we've seen this year. He's a completely new design. He does not appear in the show, but he did make the toy line, and he's got this very weird Japanese thing where they put these faces on the robots, and that's just very strange. But he's a completely different design. I absolutely love his head sculpt. I think that is very cool. He's got some nice light piping, and he's got some nice throwbacks to G1 with his pile drivers, and if you look, he's got the guns mounted on the back just like the G1 figure had. The little chrome pistols could go on his back. So I thought that was very cool, and he's just a very unique, very cool looking toy that we just didn't see anywhere else this year in the line, and that's why I picked him for my number 7 slot. All right, so number 6 on my list goes to Soundwave from Transformers Animated. And I really, really dig this character. He is so well sculpted. He is very show accurate. He's got a very different kind of plastic feel, almost a rubber-like feel to him, which is very strange. He doesn't feel like any of the other toys that were produced this year, but he just absolutely looks awesome. He looks evil. He looks creepy. He looks menacing. He's very lanky. I would actually like to see a Voyager version of this figure. I think that would do this figure very, very well. And he's got Laserbeak on the front here that you can pull off. And Laserbeak is also very show accurate, which there's not really much to him. He's a little drone from the show. But I do like that. That's just something I think is pretty cool. And it fits very well onto the toy and really is hidden when you look at it. I mean, you can't really tell it's there unless you know the character from the show or you're reading the instructions. But all in all, I really love him. I love the sculpt is fantastic. The paint job is really nice. The only thing, he doesn't have a Decepticon logo on his wing, which he did in the show, and that's a little disappointing. That's not there, but it is what it is, I suppose. And I'd really like to see maybe some stickers, some repro stickers that you can put on his visor for the different little audio effects that are on his visor. I think that'd be pretty cool. Be a nice little additive for him as well. But all in all, really, really great character. Gotta love Soundwave. I love this incarnation of him. He's very, very creepy, very dark, very sinister, and this figure definitely takes the cake on that. So that's why he's number 6 on the list. All right, number 5 is going to go to the Viacon, or as MGoG likes to call him, Gary. He is a general drone of the Decepticon army. This particular one turns into a car. They've got one that has come out or is coming out that's going to be a jet type thing. And this is the RID version, the US general release version. It's not a first edition. And I actually like this one better than I do the first edition because it doesn't have a bunch of car kibble on the back. This is, I think, the only RID version that actually looks better than the first edition versions. Well, one of them. I like the Starscream Voyager better than I did the deluxe Starscream. But as far as the deluxe to deluxe, this is the only one I think that wins that battle. He looks really cool. He's very show accurate. I love the paint scheme and his car mode. Well, it looks like the Batmobile, and how awesome is that? So this is a great figure. I've only seen 2 in the stores. I picked up one for myself, and I picked another one up for a friend of mine named Tabitha out in Oklahoma and sent that out to her. So yeah, those are the only 2 I've ever seen in the stores. So, and the other cool thing was he came with a DVD of the episode Loose Cannons, which is a pretty good episode. And it's nice to see them put the DVDs with the figures, although all the figures that came in this package came with that particular disc. So I'd like to see some variation there. But all in all, yeah, this is a great figure. If you can find 3 or 4 of them to build an army, that would be great. They just all around real nice, and he turns into the Batmobile. It's cool. So that's why he's number 5. All right, so number 4 is going to go to Shockwave from the Fall of Cybertron. I love this figure. Again, I wish this guy was a Voyager figure. It would have been way cooler. But all in all, he is downright awesome. I love the plastic piece up here. His head sculpt looks nice. He's got some great light piping. He's got this awesomely huge gun that snaps on and seamlessly onto the figure's arm. If you don't want that on there, you can take it off, give him 2 hands, but you got to have old Shockwave like that. I mean, he's got a lot of G1 to him, and he's got this new kind of Shockwave look to him. He's also very similar to Shockwave as we see in Transformers Prime, but a little bit different. So very cool, very nice. You can't go wrong with this guy. This is another one that was a little difficult to find. I didn't see all that many, maybe half a dozen of these in the store. He was definitely a short pack version, and if you could find him, kudos to you because he is downright awesome. Gotta have an evil cycloptic bastard in your Decepticon collection for sure. So, Shockwave, number 4. Okay, so number 3 is going to go to Dreadwing, Voyager Class from Transformers Prime. I love the sculpt on this guy. He looks so show accurate with his paint scheme and his face sculpt there. He's got some translucent parts in him, and this is one of the few times that the translucent looks really, really well with the figure. I really dig it. I don't even mind his horrible mech tech weapon because, well, you can modify it and set it underneath like that, so he's got his little cannon that he has in the show. I wish he came with his sword that he had in his show. That would have been very, very cool. I'm highly anticipating Skyquake, which is just a repaint of this figure. The drawback to this guy, 2 drawbacks I have to him, these rubber fins all over the place. Starscream had some of them. I don't particularly care for those. They pretty much means you have to stand this guy up. I had him sitting in a box for like a week, and that rubber piece got a little wonky, so I had to straighten it out. The other thing that gets me with this guy is he doesn't have his Decepticon badge right here. He's got it on his back wings, and they're show accurate, but there's not one up here, and that's really sad. I wish he did have one there. That would have made this figure absolutely perfect, in my opinion. But all in all, a great find. I've only seen one of these guys in the stores around here, so if you find him, if you're a fan, definitely pick him up. I cannot wait for Skyquake. I hope they do not cancel him and actually bring him out because the 2 of these together will look really, really awesome. So there you go. Number 3, Dreadwing. All right, my number 2 pick goes to Thundertron from Transformers Prime. And you really can't go wrong with this guy. He's not really part of the Prime lineup. They just kind of threw him in there. I don't know why they just didn't make him a Generations figure. He is from the, was it Unity novels? I think they call it. I can't remember. If you know, please leave a message. He's a pirate. He's not an Autobot. He's not a Decepticon. He has a totally different faction. There's his little logo, which is kind of a cross between an Autobot and Decepticon logo with swords or claws or something. It's a Jolly Roger, because he is a pirate, and it even has a peg leg, and that is awesome. And it stands really well on the peg leg. That is what's really cool about that. But he is basically after all Autobots and Decepticons for destroying his homeworld, which I'm presuming is Cybertron, even though his bio doesn't really say, because he is a Cybertronian. But yeah, so he's going after all the Autobots and Decepticons, and he's got these group of pirates called the Star Seekers, and it's just really nice. I love his paint scheme. That fade from silver to blue is fantastic. I love the white and the gold. He's got this nice big bushy beard thing going on. He's got this mech tech weapon that turns into a little sword type of deal and whatever. I love the color scheme. I love the fact that he has a peg leg and he stands well. He turns into a lion, I think, which is kind of funny because his name's Tron, but he turns into a lion. That's kind of weird, but it is what it is kind of thing. It's a really great mold. It's a brand new mold, and it is probably the best mold to come out of the Transformers Prime line, which, again, it's not Transformers Prime at all. It is flat out a Generations figure. Why it didn't come in that line, I don't know, but who cares? It came out. It kicks ass. If you see him, buy him. I've seen a handful of him at the store. He's definitely cool. He's definitely different, and that's why he's number 2 on my list. Peg leg. All right, and my number 1 figure for 2012 from the Transformers line is got to go to Autobot Hotspot, who comes out of the Asia/Toys R Us exclusive line, and he is a remold, redeco of Inferno and Grapple and Artfire. They've used this mold a few different times, and that's okay. I think they used it for Spark, G2 Spark, and that's all right because it's a great mold. I love this figure. It is nice, it's heavy, it's bulky, it's right before Voyager figures went to shit, essentially. And I hope they keep using it. I'd like to see this redone for an Optimus Prime, redone for an Ultra Magnus, redone for a Nemesis Prime. I think it would be very, very cool. He's very G1 in color scheme. His head is very G1, except for the color of it. He had a kind of a blue head, but that'd be way too much blue, I think, on the figure. So I'm okay with the black. When he's in fire truck mode, he's got the exact same logos painted on the side of the door. Just really cool. In fact, you can see him right there. Very nice, very cool. All around, a nice, solid, kibbleless figure. We do have some stuff hanging over off the back of his arms and right here, but that is forgivable. Just, in fact, due to the detail of the rest of the figure. He poses well. He's solid. He's got smooth movement. Just an all-round great figure, both in bot mode and in robot mode. I mean, just absolutely awesome. You can't go wrong with this figure. He is absolutely my favorite figure of the entire year. I hope we get more figures like this guy come 2013. I guess we shall see. So there it is. My top 12 Transformers for 2012. What are yours? Leave a comment, leave a video message, you know, and hopefully next year we get some cool stuff out of the Beast Hunters and we get some more very cool Generations figures. So thanks for watching. Have a great holiday. Happy Hanukkah. Merry Christmas. Have a good New Year, guys and gals, and I will see you next year. I'm number one. I'm number one. I'm number one.